ma'am. I'm Timmy. Are you from Texas? I always wanted to go to Texas.
Hi, Timmy, honey. I ain't from Texas. I just love country and western music, that's all. Why don't you come in and pop off a few comments?
Can I, Miss Dixie? Can I?
Sure you can, Timmy.
My father, who reminded me a little of the Fuhrer, just never understood my need to build things. Model of Mount Rushmore totally out of toothpicks. Toothpicks, toothpicks, toothpicks. I often think that Adolf and I could have been friends, if I had any friends. I don't blame them for being inferior, but I do blame them for not admitting it. Mightyland, the world's first fascist miniature golf course, where it's Master Race Day every Monday. That's Ike, the owner of the Midway. And it's
Termites,
my pleasure.
Otto. The answer is termites. And termites are vermin. And vermin are everywhere.
I know the truth, and it's deep and dark, but I don't know what to do about it.
Turn your clothes into rags, leave them off your back. It's so, Otto. It's so. Nothing.
I don't trust banks, General. Gold bullion. All my money is in gold bullion, and it's hidden here on the Midway. Here on the Midway.
Ike, you're awake.
Timmy, I ain't one to complain, but I done seen some hard times, honey. I'll tell you that for sure. You know, what I always really wanted to be was a country and western singer. Why, I think everything smart in the whole world's done been sung in a country song, but I guess it just ain't worked out for me to be singing none. There's always been men in my life, though. First there was my dad, and then there was my first boyfriend, Carlos, and of course now there's Ike. That's him over there in the coma. My daddy, he was a truck driver, leastways sometimes he was. He was a great father, Timmy, and he always told me how successful and famous I was gonna be, but I don't think he liked them long, lonely nights on the road all by himself too much. Somehow, he always seemed to wind up in bed with a drink in his hand. He was fun to be around, but my mama wasn't none too happy about him not working so much. He used to tell me stories all the time. My favorites were the one about this enchanted singing cowgirl who was always conquering evil with nothing but the power of her magic voice. I sure loved to hear them stories. Actually, Timmy, honey, he always wanted to be a writer. But he never wrote nothing except some poems he stuck in those big old books he was always reading. But I kept all them poems, and I'm gonna turn them into hit songs someday. Not too long after he died, I met Carlos. He was a real musician, and I just knew my dreams were about to come true. We was together for a whole year, but it turned out to be a year of me sitting around the outside, looking in at him playing music. Leastways till I found out I was gonna have a baby. I can't tell you how much I wanted that baby, Timmy, but I guess Carlos didn't share my feelings none. The very next day he snuck out, and when he left he knocked over an old guitar he bought for me. It was all he had ever done for my singing career, and he never got around to even tuning it. After I got up from my nap and seen he was gone, I ran out and tripped over that damn guitar and fell down the stairs and lost my baby. I was only 17, Timmy honey, so I had to move back in with my mom, who never had liked Carlos too much. A little later, a friend wanted to take me to this here mini golf course that everyone was talking about. And that's where I met Ike, my true love. He was the owner and well-known Nazi sympathizer. 2 weeks later, we was married. But now, as you can see, he is in a real bad coma, and I just don't know what I'm gonna do, Timmy.
Gee, what a sad story, Miss Dixie. I had a hamster once that got his foot cut off.
Who sends rain when the earth is dry, Timmy? It's somebody bigger than you and I. Bye-bye, honey pie.
Timmy, come here.
Mr. Ted, what are you doing in here?
It's one of my favorite places, Timmy. So dark and so quiet. Like a cave in the forest I used to visit when I was young. I'm going to tell you a story, Timmy. All about a poor, sad little boy. The little boy always said that the first thing he ever remembered seeing was a pair of cowboy boots. In his memory, those boots were attached to legs that somehow stretched upwards into an unknown infinity inhabited by the rest of his father. His next memory was that of a hand quickly dropping out of that vast beyond and hitting him on the head. Although the boy quickly grew to despise this giant father, there was one thing about him that he liked in spite of its cold-hearted appearance. His father's butterfly collection. Although he loved the collection, he thought that things of beauty should never be killed, and he hated watching as his father pierced the struggling insects. The sad boy loved all beauty and believed that ugliness indicated the presence of death. He was 3 years old when he committed his first act of ugly liberation, the process which he used to release pain and free ugliness trapped inside of living creatures. He was playing alone outside of his mother's cabin when he found a baby bird struggling on the ground. The bird's eye had been penetrated by a sharp bone protruding out through the skin of its badly broken wing. It was the ugliest thing the sad little boy had ever seen, and he immediately picked up a large rock and crushed the helpless creature. After the boy and his mother moved away from their tiny cabin in the woods, he began to encounter many more creatures in pain which, of course, caused the number of ugly liberations to dramatically increase. In an ironic memorial to his despised departed father, the boy collected bits of hair, of bones, skin, and other artifacts from these incidents and shaped them to look like butterflies. It was shortly after his father's death when the sad little boy started his own unusual butterfly collection. His next act was the liberation of all the dead insects in his father's collection by burning the dead man's house. In emotional strength, the boy's hatred of his father was matched only by a deep and powerful love for his mother. Even though she earned her living as a circus freak, he saw within her a beauty unmatched in his detached observations of the world. She performed with a number of different freak shows as they traveled around the country together. For some strange reason, their movement from show to show always seemed to happen after the mysterious deaths of other star performers. I still see that sad little boy around here sometimes, Timmy. He deeply frightens me. But I don't think you have anything to worry about. He tells me that he still collects butterflies, though.
Wow, Mr. Ted. I guess it's a good thing I'm not ugly.
It's very good, Timmy. It's very, very good.
I'm Timmy, mister. Who are you? You sure look important.
I am important, Timmy. I work for your government.
Super wow, sir. You must be proud to have such an important job.
Timmy, I'm proud to live in a great country like America. I know that you're just a child, but you're never too young to learn that there are always people trying to tear down this great country of ours. And it's my job to stop those people. It's a big responsibility, but somebody has to do it. Timmy, do you love your country?
Yes, sir, Mr. Government Man.
That's good, Timmy. I can tell that you're a fine young man. I hope you will consider a career in the IRS. Your government needs you, Timmy. I'm sorry, but I have to go now, son. Cheaters don't take coffee breaks.
Gosh, mister, you look tired.
Life is tired, little boy. Would you like to watch my mother perform?
I'm Timmy, mister. I like everything around here.
Childhood is a terrible thing, Timmy.
I'm Lottie the human log, and I am happy to entertain you if I can. When I was young, I was just like you, with legs that ended inside of my shoes. When Daddy disappeared, my mama started drinking, and she ran a stop sign and cracked up our Lincoln. She was killed in the crash, and also my legs got all chewed up, just like scrambled eggs. I was an orphan with no place to stay till my granny came along and took me away to live with her way back in the woods where there wasn't any kids or neighborhoods. Nothing gave Granny much more pleasure than discarded trash that she turned into treasure. She had a runt dog named Scrappy, a curse, whose eyes were crossed and breath was worse than rotten eggs, and she made quilts from worn out wool and scraps of silk. But she said I was her most favorite prize, found on the scrap heap known as life. One day watching lumberjacks near our cabin, I met up with one who said he had been lonely until he saw my face. He was tall and made me feel awful safe. He said I remind
gosh, Miss Lottie. That story is even sadder than the time my goldfish, Pee-wee, and Poncho froze to death right in their bowl.
Why don't you come back later there, Timmy? I'm a little tired right now. I can't talk now.
Come here, Timmy. I want to show you something. It's very special to me. These are not just any bugs, Timmy. They're sentimental keepsakes from very special moments.
Wow! Yes, Mr. Ted. I love bugs.
Thank you, Timmy. I knew you would like my butterflies. They're so beautiful.
Bye-bye, big boy. Hi, I'm Ike, the owner of the Midway, and it's my pleasure to introduce you kiddies to the miracles of modern warfare. The only ones left are you tykes, who sense that the real truth lies in strength. You're the ones that recognize the odor of weakness spreading from the pansy sniffers, who live from one contemptible compromise to the next, all the while watching their world decay into words that always say, "I'm sorry, Bobby, I'm sorry." Well, sorry's not good enough, kids. There's only one word that works in this world, and that word is power. And the pathway to power is always the marvels of mayhem. Carnivorous canines scourge crumbling china. Monarchist mourners murdered at funerals. Dauntless daily paper horrified by human hands. Madrid kids shocked by shells from hell. Eager-eyed Italians eradicate exposed Ethiopians. Madrid mob cremates cathedral. Remnants of beheaded heathens burned on Christmas Eve.
Your government cares, Timmy.
Hey, good looking. What you got cooking?
Are you ready, boys? Are you ready? It's all about bow wows. Bow wows and boys, boys. And it all started with Daddy. Daddy, a bad cop who became a worse dog trainer. Can you imagine, boys? He even tried training me, his little princess, to be a baby ballerina. But then there was this guy, you see. There's always been at least one. And this guy followed the little princess home. Home, where Daddy was. Daddy in the safety of his big, strong arms. But Daddy wasn't there. Daddy was next door doing a little repair work for his best friend's wife. The sound of the little princess screaming eventually brought Daddy back, just in time to see the guy being greeted by one of Daddy's German shepherds. No thanks to Daddy, the little princess was saved, just like in all good fairy tales. But she never forgot. And who was the guy? He was just someone that Daddy met in a liquor store. A guy who cried and said he needed the money for his sick daughter. His sick daughter who died while the guy was in jail, getting madder and madder and finally becoming consumed with rage at the cop who laughed at the story of his dying daughter. But he never got his revenge, and the princess never forgot the brave German shepherd that saved her life. Eventually, she grew up and got involved with men. Men like Huck and Chuck, the bumbling twin bodybuilders who fought for her affection, and eventually inspired the first of her many tattoos. A perfect pair of Dobermans, one on each thigh. And of course, there were more, lots more, but they all turned into dogs. And the dogs turned into tattoos. And the tattoos turn you on, don't they, boys? And wouldn't you all just love to become the bad bulldog on my belly? And what about love? Love is simply black or white, in or out, top or bottom, until it's over. Like my love for Daddy. The lovely little chihuahua on my butt. Bye-bye, boys.
Yes. Can I help you, gentlemen? Are you Swan? Maybe. Dr. Carver from the research lab sent us. He said you had some, supplies for his experiments. Ah, yes, yes. Come in. This way, my good man. Hey, look at this one. Real strange. Let's have a look at him.
Wow, what a beaut. I'll bet old Doc Carver's gonna want to give that guy some, special attention.
Yeah, he'll want to cut him up and find out about that wacko coloring. Here, put him in this plastic container.
to keep him separate from his fellow rodents.
This is the story of a very special rat. The rat didn't know that he was special, nor did he know what a lucky rat he was destined to be. Indeed, he knew nothing of that very human concept called luck. Mainly, he thought about food, and up to this point, food had not been a problem. He had been well fed by Swan, the rat catcher, and had no idea that it was possible to run out of food. Or luck. But it was the rat's luck, some might say destiny, that swept him along that day.
The rats, they're loose. Help! They're all over!
Ah! Look out!
Luck had reared its indifferent head, and instead of sinking to the bottom of the river with his rodent kin, the rat, floating in a lightweight plastic container, was carried by the current down the river. Now the rat discovered something new: fear. As he tossed about in this closed container, this fear became an almost tangible presence. Alone and hungry, he was haunted by feverish visions of the humans responsible for his plight, accompanied by the hovering specter of death. But as the final reality of certain death closed in, Luck looked his way one more time.
Oopsie daisy!
Before the accident, Ike often asked Dixie to push him down by the river when he felt overly burdened by life. Attendance had been sagging at the Midway recently, and the owner felt that a new attraction was needed. As he watched the river, something caught his eye, and Ike asked Dixie to pick up a small container near the bank. Peering into the dark container, Ike first glimpsed what appeared to be an eerie red star, mysterious and alive. It only took a moment to realize what he had, and Ike's dark mood was immediately lifted. He knew an omen when he saw one. Unlike the rat, Ike knew all about luck. He understood it and worshipped it. Instantly, he had a vision. And soon the rat, whom Ike had named Oscar, was celebrated as the star of the Midway's new attraction. But the concept of fame meant no more to Oscar than the one called luck. Once again, he was being fed by a human, a dirty, smelly, noisy human, and that was all he knew. Night after night, the human placed him in a sunken circle, surrounded by bright lights and other howling humans, and Oscar didn't like that very much. Soon the rat grew troubled, and his head filled with dark emotions and disturbing memories. A lack of food, death, and the dirty human. There was less and less that Oscar liked about these creatures, especially the dirty, smelly one. And perhaps he didn't understand luck, fame, or fate. But the rat did understand power. And lately, he had begun to feel a strange, sick, and feverish kind of power.
Hiya, Timmy.
by broadcast heard by the consent of the people.
What's up, sport?
I feel so ugly.
Oh no! The plague got me! What is my poor boy gonna do without his mama?
Well, hey there, Timmy, honey.
Who'll take care of Huck and Chuck?
Others will come to take my place. You can't kill the government.
But I'll never get out of this world alive.
All good things must pretend. Dixie! Where are you, Dixie?
Wow, what a great place! I have to come back here tomorrow.